One of the most fascinating subjects to study throughout history is the rise and fall of various civilizations. While in some cases we have an understanding of the evolution and downfall of these civilizations, the fate of others is not so clear. There have been many cases in which an entire civilization has simply disappeared without a trace, leaving few belongings behind to determine what happened to them. So what have we learned about some of these lost civilizations, and what does it all mean? What downfalls did these civilizations experience, and why did they disappear entirely? 1. The Maya. The Maya Empire was once located in modern-day Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize. At the time, the Maya were one of the most advanced civilizations on Earth, known for their mathematical, architectural, and engineering abilities. This lost civilization contained large cities, monuments, and roads, as well as technologies that helped advance their growing communities. Between massive pyramids and terraced farms, the Maya civilization achieved some impressive feats. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. Around 900 AD, the Maya civilization experienced a drastic decline. Within just a few decades, the population had been wiped out by seemingly mysterious forces. Historians suggest that this decline was probably due to significant climate change and natural disasters in the region, as well as ongoing warfare and famine throughout their cities. 2. Easter Island. Rapa Nui, known more popularly for its alternative name, Easter Island, was once the home of a now lost civilization. This lost civilization was not particularly large in population, but was industrious and comfortable. This civilization had created the moai, the monolithic human figures carved by the Rapa Nui people sometime between 1250 and 1500 AD. Sometime after their creation, the entire civilization collapsed and vanished. Even European explorers just a few hundred years later discovered the island had few communities left, seemingly a result of the overharvesting of natural resources, such as palm trees. It is also believed that disease likely contributed to their demise over several years. 3. Saddlefolk. Saddlefolk is often considered one of the first urban settlements in the world. This lost civilization, located in modern-day Turkey approximately 8,000 years ago, was known for its unique architecture and engineering. Interpretation of this civilization's architectural remains suggests that the inhabitants would walk across rooftops instead of utilizing traditional roads, as all buildings were interconnected. They also buried their loved ones under the floor of their homes, as open burial space was not utilized. It is unknown exactly what happened to the Saddlefolk people. Some theorize that disease wiped them out, as they did not expand as widely as surrounding civilizations. Today, their many artifacts are still being uncovered for greater insight into the lives of these fascinating individuals. 4. The Harappans of the Indus Valley Civilization. The Harappans, also known as the Indus, were once one of the largest civilizations in ancient history. It is believed that this civilization was first established over 8,000 years ago, though the majority of its developments occurred around 2500 before Christ. This massive civilization was spread over nearly 400,000 square miles across modern-day India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, which provided many resources for them to thrive. At its peak, it is believed that the Harappans once had a population of over 5 million people. So how did it become one of the first lost civilizations? Evidence shows that the Indus Valley Civilization had developed highly advanced agricultural and sewage systems for its time. It also had a written language and accounted for 10% of the world's population at the time of its peak. The Indus thrived until around 1800 before Christ, when most of the population began emigrating from their cities. While it was once believed that the Indus were pushed out by an Aryan invasion, further research reveals that was not the case. Recent research instead points towards a shift in the monsoon cycle, which would have greatly impacted their ability to produce crops. Some suggest that many of the riverbanks dried up before a sudden flood came through, wiping out more of the population. Other natural events, such as earthquakes or epidemics, may have also contributed to the Harappans' sudden demise. 5. The Almec Civilization. The Almec Civilization was located along the Gulf of Mexico around 1100 before Christ. They were named Almec because they live in Olmen, the land of rubber. The Almec were primarily known for their architecture, which included buildings and stone statues. It was also discovered that they had successfully built aqueducts within their cities, an impressive feat for that time. Unfortunately, the Almec civilization fell into decline around 400 BC. Both of its major cities were essentially abandoned, leaving their many buildings, statues, and other artifacts behind. Although not much evidence remains regarding the Almecs, experts believe that a natural disaster such as a drought or volcanic eruption may have caused a drastic loss in their crops. The Almecs may have also overexploited their natural resources, which would have contributed to any food loss they experienced. Others say there may have been tensions between the Almecs and other local communities, which could have resulted in bloodshed. While it's not clear what happened, only the eerie ruins of another lost civilization remain.